A faint point of light appeared on NASA's Atlas survey images on July 1, 2025. At first, it was nothing more than a tiny blur in a sea of cosmic noise. But as astronomers refined the coordinates and recalculated its speed, their excitement turned into disbelief. The numbers made no sense. The object wasn't orbiting the Sun. It was cutting through the solar system on a hyperbolic trajectory, one that would never loop back. Within days, it was confirmed. This was only the third interstellar object humanity had ever detected. They named it 3I Atlas. Public statements from NASA were reassuring. Atlas posed no threat to Earth. It would never come closer than 1.8 astronomical units, far beyond any danger zone. Its nucleus appeared small, maybe 5 or 6 kilometers across, and it would reach its closest point to the Sun just inside the orbit of Mars on October 30, 2025. To most people, it sounded like nothing more than a rare, fascinating cosmic visitor. But behind the scenes, the tone was very different. As August turned to September, telescopes began picking up odd behavior. MAVEN, the orbiter studying Mars's upper atmosphere, detected thin, perfectly regular ripples high above the red planet. They weren't caused by solar wind or dust storms. They were too synchronized, like waves produced by something passing nearby, not physically but electromagnetically. Then came the first trajectory anomaly. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory noticed a shift, so small it would seem meaningless to anyone else. But astrophysicists know that comets don't change direction on their own. Their motion is governed by gravity, sunlight, and the physics of ice sublimating into space. Yet Atlas had subtly steered itself. It was impossible to explain. That was when Dr. Avi Loeb spoke publicly. The same astronomer who suggested that the earlier interstellar visitor Oumuamua might have been artificial said calmly that Atlas was breaking the rules, and we should be prepared for what that means. Almost overnight, observatories around the world locked onto the object. The James Webb Space Telescope captured something even stranger. When Atlas passed through a region near the asteroid belt, JWST recorded a deep red shimmer pulsing along its tail, not constantly, but in a repeating sequence. Weeks later, the same rhythmic flicker appeared again. The pattern wasn't random. It almost looked deliberate. Inside control rooms across the world, scientists stared at screens glowing in the dark, searching for natural explanations. Gas jets. Rotational wobble. Dust reflections. But nothing matched the precision of the pulses or the consistency of the heat readings. Thermal scans showed uniform temperature across the object's surface, unlike the chaotic hotspots seen on every normal comet ever studied. Radio telescopes added another layer of mystery. They detected faint rhythmic static, structured enough to stand out from background noise but too weak to decode. And every time researchers thought they had ruled out artificial interference, another anomaly appeared. The European Space Agency and NASA quietly escalated Atlas to a Level 2 surveillance priority. That classification is reserved for objects that could interfere with major missions or exhibit behavior outside known physics. MAVEN, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and even the Perseverance rover were assigned to monitor potential interactions as Atlas approached the red planet. Meanwhile, amateur astronomers across the globe began capturing curious flares, brief, sharp bursts of light coming from the comet's direction. Some shrugged them off as camera artifacts. Others suggested they were gas jets firing in unusual rhythm. But online forums lit up with speculation. Could Atlas be a probe? Was it using Mars as a waypoint? Was humanity finally confronting the unknown? Inside NASA, conversations grew tense. Engineers debated contingency plans. If even a small fragment of Atlas passed close to MAVEN or MRO, the spacecraft could be damaged or disabled. At the same time, researchers could not ignore the possibility that the object wasn't a comet at all, at least not in the traditional sense. As the days passed, one question started to echo more often. What does Atlas want with Mars? Tonight, when you step into the darkness and look toward that tiny red world, remember that something from another star system is headed straight toward it. Something that has crossed unimaginable distances. Something that defies the rules written into every physics textbook. Something that may force us to rethink our place in the universe. Atlas is coming. And whatever it is, it's not. Mars is about to get a visitor from another star, and the world is holding its breath. Atlas is now close enough that even small ground-based telescopes can detect its eerie crimson glow. The closer it gets, the more its behavior challenges everything astronomers thought they understood. It's no longer just an interstellar tourist, it's an enigma threading a needle between worlds. MAVEN's instruments continue picking up faint bands of ionized particles sliding across Mars's atmosphere, like whispers carried on a cosmic breeze. They move with astonishing regularity, matching the same rhythm detected in the deep red pulses flickering from Atlas's tail. Scientists tried to chalk it up to solar interaction at first, but simulations show the sun can't produce patterns this clean. Perseverance's cameras have been capturing time-lapse images of the Martian sky, showing a thin streak of red drifting across the darkness. Each frame is analyzed for abnormalities. Nothing dramatic so far, but the team can't shake the feeling that the comet is responding to the planet's magnetic or atmospheric environment, almost as if it's studying Mars. Beyond Mars, Jupiter looms in the distance. If Atlas adjusts its direction by even a fraction of a degree during the flyby, it could use Jupiter's massive gravity well to slingshot across the solar system. Where would it go next? Away into the void? Or toward another target? Radio observatories have reported something especially strange. Buried in the background static or repeating peaks, patterns similar to odd signals picked up in the late 20th century but dismissed at the time. Old data logs are being reopened, and once ignored anomalies are suddenly being viewed in a new light. It's as if Atlas is echoing something humanity has heard before but didn't understand. Some astronomers whisper about the harbinger theory. In this idea, Atlas is not a weapon or a messenger but a signpost. A beacon traveling through the galaxy, lighting up when it encounters worlds with signs of life. A cosmic beacon that simply says, "Here." Others propose the lighthouse hypothesis. In that model, the pulses are not communication but navigation, markers for travelers crossing the dark, using stars and planets the way sailors once used lighthouses along dangerous coasts. If that's true, then Mars and Jupiter might not be targets. They could be guideposts on a map older than humanity's existence. Public interest has turned into obsession. Schools show the glowing diagrams of Atlas's path. News channels broadcast countdowns to its closest approach. Children point at the sky and ask if the comet is an alien ship. And even though NASA won't say it publicly, the unease inside mission control is real. The trajectory changes may be small, but they suggest forces at work that scientists can't model. If Atlas makes another unexpected adjustment as it approaches Mars, it would confirm that something, natural or not, is influencing its motion. Now, with October 30th approaching, every instrument humanity has is watching. The sky is quieter than usual. Data streams are being checked by hand to avoid mistakes. Teams are working through the night, hoping the next reading doesn't reveal something no one is ready to confront. Maybe Atlas will pass Mars peacefully, leaving only mysteries in its wake. Or maybe it will reveal something deeper, some hint that interstellar visitors don't wander by accident. Tonight, somewhere beyond the red planet, a traveler from another star is slipping through the dark, pulsing with unknown energy, adjusting its path with impossible precision. It has crossed distances that would break any human machine. It has survived the emptiness between suns. And soon, as it brushes past Mars, we will all be watching. Whatever Atlas truly is, one thing is certain. The universe